and I want to thank y'all for stopping by and hanging out with me here while we do a little project here. As you can probably see by the title, it's Predator, Governor, delete, bypass, removal, whatever you want to call it. It's one of them $100 motors you get from Harbor Freight. Really good motors from what I can see. So we're going to talk about doing that today, and let's get you turned around here so you can see what's on the bench. Where's the motor? That's right. You will never see one of those on my bench getting the governor removed in the stock form. This is something that's been weighing on me for a while. I've been watching a lot of the bigger YouTube channels, working on these things, promoting them. I have no problem with them. $99 is a great bargain for what you get with that engine. The Hemi version's great. It's just everybody's going about it the wrong way. Strictly my opinion. This whole video is going to be my opinion. Take it for what you want. Thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter to me. I've been doing small engine, big engine, semis, everything for nearly 30 years, and the trend of people pulling them governors out of those stock motors, running stock flywheels, in my opinion, again, you're lighting a fuse on a bomb. I do garden tractor pulling. Behind me here, you can see this motor here. This is a purpose-built 20-horse Kohler V-twin command. It'll turn about 10,000 RPMs. Like I said, purpose-built. It's got billet internals, billet stuff on the outside. Look here, what I'm working with. Sorry about the shaky camera. Billet steel flywheel. See? Sticks to it. Billet crank in there. Billet aluminum rods. Billet aluminum pistons. Like I said, this is a purpose-built engine designed to turn the RPMs and do what we're wanting to do with it. If you don't know what billet means, simply, it just means it's a solid piece when it starts, and it's made into the whatever you're wanting to make, whether it be rods, crank, flywheel, front balancer, all that stuff. It starts out as a solid piece of steel, not something that was cast in a mold. I can't stress enough of what this engine goes through when I'm running it, the stresses that are on it, the RPMs that we're turning. You may not be turning your goat cart or mini bike or mower or whatever at the RPMs or the abuse that I'm doing, but it's still a cast flywheel. That's the big ticket. Back on the billet stuff. Those flywheels on those motors are made in a factory somewhere overseas, not knocking overseas, but they're made in a factory in cast molds out of molten steel. They're only engineered and designed to turn between 35 and 3,800 RPMs. That's the engineers designed them to do. They were not designed to turn 5, 6, 7,000 RPMs. When you don't know how that engine was put together, if the guy was having a bad day when he was putting it together, did that flywheel get dropped? The only true way to see if the flywheel is safe is to actually magnaflux it. Every time I tear my motor down, it gets fully magnafluxed. You know what magnafluxing is? Google it. It's basically a powder you put on stuff, use a special light, and it shows even the smallest of cracks and defects in the steel or aluminum or whatever you're working on. Personally, I've never had a flywheel knock on wood, come apart on me. I know a couple people that have. Some people in the small engine nation. Ask around. And the flywheel that came apart on him was actually a billet aluminum flywheel. They're not that expensive. Save up for them. Do you want to lose a leg? If you're on a mini bike, it can come apart. You're sitting right over top of it. The go-karts, they're pointed right at your back. Adults that are doing this, put your kids on it. My opinion, I would never do it. Never ever. I wouldn't put my kid on a garden tractor that was running over 4,000 RPMs. Like I said, guys. It's a bomb. It's waiting to go off. It may never ever happen. Me myself, I will never take the chance. I've been pulling now for over 15 years. When I went from the stock 3,600 RPM class moved up to a hot stock class where you're allowed to turn them at 4,200 RPMs. The very first thing I bought was a flywheel. I saved up for it. I got it, put it on. Lots of people don't do it. They think it's safe. Back on my engine, all my scatter shields are removed because I'm working on it. There is a aluminum, quarter-inch aluminum ring, about 4-inch wide ring that goes around that flywheel that is bolted to the frame and to the sides of the head. That will it stop it? No. Will it slow it down enough that I may not lose a leg? May not get hurt as bad? Maybe. There's also sheet metal that goes around that. Would that sheet metal stop it? Absolutely not. I had to get this off my chest. I've seen lots and lots of videos, younger guys doing it, older people doing it. The big channels that are doing it, in my opinion, they're doing it for clicks. They're doing it for money. They're sponsored by these companies that are building these kits to make these things better motors, upgrade them. What they should be doing in the very first video that they do before they remove that is put a billet flywheel on them. I've seen the Kohler K-Series motors that I used to run years back not even break a flywheel, break a rod, and actually punch a hole, window, whatever you want to call it, in the side of the block, and that piece come flying out with a stock connecting rod. That's cast iron block. Them things are 3/8, 7/16 thick. They come out with a lot of force. Luckily, I've never been hit with a piece. Count my blessings every day. I want everybody to be safe. All my friends and everything. It's in the small engine nation and outside the small engine nation. I talk a lot about my engine, my pulling engine and everything, what it turns, what horsepower it does. I just don't want people getting the wrong idea that you can do that with any motor. You can't. You can build it to do it, but out of the box, it can't be done, not safely. I have seen people run these stock motors in some of these classes, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 RPMs with a stock cast flywheel. It won't happen. Not with me. Not around me. This is something I'm really kind of passionate about. If you don't like what I have to say, I understand if you want to unsubscribe. I'm just trying to pass it along. If you got any questions about where to find parts for, like I said, I don't do the Predator engines, but I will help you research, find, locate, whatever the parts you need to be safe. Like I said again, what's a leg worth to you? What's your kid worth to you? What's one of your loved ones worth to you? Friend, whatever. Spend the $100, couple $100, whatever, buy it. Finding them used on eBay, not a big fan. You don't know how it was treated. You don't know how it was removed. You don't know how it's put on. You don't know if somebody ran it on with an impact. It only takes one time. And that's the other thing I see happening is people running them back on with impacts. Even the cordless, DeWalt or whatever you have impacts. That's a tapered shaft that thing goes onto. It's a wedge. If there happens to be a micro fracture in there from the factory, whatever, putting that extra stress on it that's not torqued down to what it should be will open it up. Vibrations, everything, can make that crack open up and come apart. Not a real big fan of the pulling the flywheels off with the two pry bars and hitting the end of the crank. Have I done it? Yes. Years past? Yes. Harbor Freight, buy a puller. Not that expensive again. It's a peace of mind. Look for them at yard sales, pawn shops, whatever. Buy a torque wrench, decent torque wrench. Use them. Please use them. I guess that's all I have to say about that right now. Again, you got any questions? Put them in the comments. Leave an email. I'll get back to you. Again, guys, don't pull them governors out of them motors. Don't zip tie the springs. If you want to put the heavier valve springs in them, that's great. Does help. You want to reject the carburetor, get it flow a little better, whatever. That's great. But the removing or bypassing of the governors, please don't. I don't want to hear about one of you guys, getting hurt, getting killed, maiming somebody. If somebody would bring me one and want me to do it for them, I'd say absolutely not until you hit a billet flywheel for it, minimum. Again, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Give me a thumbs down if you don't, if you think I'm an idiot and don't know what I'm talking about. If you really have a problem with it, unsubscribe. Frankly, if you want to unsubscribe because of this opinion, I don't want you on my channel. Don't want you in Small Engine Nation. That's we're a family here, worldwide. I want everybody to be safe and have a good time and enjoy and get as much fun and excitement and everything out of working on these engines as I do. So, like I said, thanks for watching. Sorry if the title was a little bit clickbait, but had to get people to click on here somehow, and titling it, the problems with removing a governor on a Predator wouldn't get the clicks, wouldn't get people watching, but I'm here to get the information out. Thanks for stopping by. Check y'all later.